And Riin, speaking of this, one of my kind of usual questions, and I can imagine that people ask you this as well. Besides this, what would be like your piece of advice or recommendation for growth on LinkedIn? We don't have to say like a go viral. I don't really like to say that, but if someone says, "Oh, Riin, how to build my brand, grow the following, etc.," what would be your advice?
For growth, I would still say 100% build relationships and build your network, because we are on a social network for a reason. So use that opportunity. That was my biggest mistake when I started. I used to publish my post, hit refresh, and wait for people to show up. Didn't happen until I learned the power of commenting. And it has been every opportunity that I have got has come through comments. People who are in my community, my first clients, why I'm here today, like our friendship also started through the comment section. So it's like a classic
Indeed.
LinkedIn story, I think.
That's the power and potential of of the platform, that people literally from all around the world, all kinds of backgrounds, I don't know, whatever, completely different, but you can connect with anyone. So people take advantage of it, that there is a platform like that and you can connect and build your network.
Yeah, I completely agree. And another thing that I would say is that make sure that you provide value with your content. Share, don't sell, because you should focus, well, in my experience, focusing on trust, not virality, has helped me secure all the opportunities that I've got so far. So it's about building these genuine relationships and also making sure that my content is useful and valuable for the audience that I wanted to reach. So, like, to me, a good post teaches you something new, gives a lesson, and also actionable advice on how to apply it. Because when people get the advice, they use it on their own and they see results. Then they actually feel that it works and they come back because it builds trust, because they see results and they want more of it. So it's kind of this loop.
I like it and I agree. I was going to highlight or mention that if people like it, it's likely they're going to come again. And let's be honest, there is so much of content out there, even new people coming out, AI content, because it's faster, it's easier, and more competition. So stand out with something. And if people enjoy it, they will come back. So it comes down to what we discussed before: keep it quality over quantity and get it out there. And I'm sure it will work out.
Absolutely. And what you mentioned already about standing out, like one thing is to create good content, but like the biggest growth lever in terms of that for me has been trusting my own story. Like, we are all building personal brands, and that's what puts the personal into the personal brand. So when I first joined, I saw a lot of people posting like this corporate content or only educational frameworks, or I saw that they're not fully being themselves. And I didn't want to follow that path, because your work is just a part of you. It's what you do, but it's not who you are. So there's definitely one more side to the coin. So using your own story to position yourself is your biggest edge, because we all have different lives, and the more interesting yours is, the more your brand will also stand out, but only if you trust your story.
That is a great point. I agree. And when you share this, don't forget that there are people that might have similar experience or same experience. So it's very likely that there is going to be someone who is going to relate with that, which again helps to build those relationships. And as you mentioned this, I wanted to say that I can see it from your content as well. When you share like your journey year by year, what you experience, what happens to you, etc. And one of the things that I like, not only that you share more from your life so that the audience actually discovers more about you, but also that you are not afraid to share, for example, this year and that year, that's when I got laid off, that's when this worked out or this didn't work out. So it's not just sharing like those wins, those successes and the highlights, but it's actually being real and honest, because a lot of people just share highs, but it's never just that positive side of things, but the reality is often very much different. So just wanted to say that I like it and just being real and authentic. I know that authenticity is that's the word that gets used a lot on LinkedIn, but the question is who's actually authentic. So just wanted to say that I like your content and the way you do it.
I really appreciate that you say this because like my mission here is to show up without performing, and I hope to inspire more people do that because like you mentioned that no one's life is a highlight reel. We all know that. We all have
Mhm.
our failures and mistakes and screw ups, but a lot of people, they're not either ready to share it or they don't feel comfortable. They're afraid of judgment. But at the end of the day, like our flaws are what make us unique. Like it's not only about perfection, but also the imperfect part of us because like we are all just messy human beings, and you know, when you have the courage to share both sides of you, that's what makes a brand more authentic in my eyes. Not just the wins but also the vulnerable side, because that's what people can relate to. We all have those moments even if we don't talk about them.
Agreed. And never forget that people usually share only what they want you to see, so that you see someone winning, flexing, showing wins and highlights. That's because they want you to see that, but you never see the whole picture or the background, or rarely you do. And then it leads to these unhealthy comparisons. So, yes, I know not to compare, but everyone sometimes does. But it helps to remind that you never see the whole picture. So, that's something that I try to remind myself regularly as well.
Yes, I completely agree. I think we shouldn't definitely set aside the wins or the proof because that's a strong authority argument. And I definitely encourage people to use it, but not to neglect their vulnerable side because our story has power. And for example, like the story that I just shared, how I got here, I know that a lot of people can resonate with that. They've had the same experience. They worked maybe 15, 20, or 25 years in the corporate world. They have been the invisible expert. They've done a brilliant job, but at one point they're just on the crossroads like I was, and they don't know what to do. So that's also why our story can act as the best positioning for our brand, because we have lived it and we can help people who are going exactly through the same.
Very true. And I think also people often look for ways how to stand out or maybe be unique. And that's what I forget, that your experience, your journey, and your background is what actually makes you unique.